Welcome to the Diet Starts Never podcast. I'm your host, Rachel Nigro, aka Coach Rach. This podcast will teach you how to live your healthiest life in and out of the gym and put yourself first again. Oh, and we get long-lasting results here. I've made it my mission to help my clients ditch the diet mentality and heal their relationship with food and themselves. After transforming hundreds of bodies and minds, it's your turn. Are you ready? Hello, everybody. Welcome back to, episode 41 of Diet Starts Never. And we are in the week of Valentine's Day. Can you guys feel the love in the air? I love love. I love Valentine's Day. I love self-love. I love seeing couples succeed. I love building a stronger relationship with loved ones, family members. I love hearing love stories. And I love supporting healthy relationships. So in honor of Valentine's Day, this episode is going to be all about asking for and offering support with your partner, your loved ones, your friends, your family. When you're trying to reach a goal, it can be very difficult if you don't have the support of your loved ones. And maybe they're not intentionally trying not to offer you that support, but maybe they just don't know how you need it. So we're going to set your expectations very clear. So one, you can reach your goals, but two, you can have strong, incredible relationships in anywhere in your life. So one of the reasons I'm making this episode is because I've talked to a lot of people who have said, I want to make a change, and then make up an excuse for their partner. Like, I want to cook this healthy food, but my partner won't eat it, so I'm not even going to bother. I want to go to the gym, but my partner doesn't like to work out, so I don't know when I'm going to go, and so on. And at the end of the day, I think some of the excuses are because that person may be afraid of trying and failing, but I want to make sure that you are well supported on this journey, and how to make sure you are through a simple conversation of just asking. Remember, you guys, this is a two-way street. So not only are you going to be asking for support, but I want to make sure you are offering it right as well. And I'm not saying you can't, but a change in perspective could go a long way. Asking for support could go a long way. And maybe just hearing some other ways that you can ask for support. Part of my job as a health coach to my clients is asking them how I can support them this week. How can I support you this week? What can I help you do? And I know I'm kind of limited because I'm on the other side of the screen, but something as simple as writing them a grocery list, something as simple as rearranging their workouts, giving them a different workout plan for when they're going away. That's how I support them as their coach. How their spouse, their significant other, their family is going to support them could be different. It could be taking it to the next level. Like, all right, here's my grocery list. Do you think you could go do this for me? Or something a little bit more complex, like, hey babe, I know you mean well by asking me or bringing home a piece of pizza or slices of pizza for me, but it's not helping me reach my goals. Get what I'm saying? Reaching a physique goal is hard. It's even harder when you don't have the support of your loved ones or when you are at it alone. One of the most difficult lessons I had to learn, which I am still in school for, is asking for help. My goal for this episode is to help you build a stronger relationship, one that can withstand any battle, one that not only helps you reach your goals, but learn how to maintain them and create a life of your dreams with the people that mean the most to you. It's not to make you feel bad about anything that's going on, but to show you how great it can be if you just ask for a little help. You don't have to do this alone. So this episode isn't just about supporting your partners. It's about supporting or asking for support rather from your partners, or offering support for your partner or loved ones. It's about offering support for yourself and setting your own expectations and boundaries starts with it. So I'm going to try to do this, keep this so it's fun and loving, because we are in the themes of Valentine's Day, but I think this type of episode has been long overdue. I think I say that about every episode I do because I have so many topics I want to cover, and we're going to just talk about love. You guys know I am not a couples therapist, but I have worked with a lot of women, a lot of men who are in relationships and are trying to reach a fitness goal. And I've had to help them navigate kind of uncomfortable situations with their significant other, where their significant other may not be on the same health journey as them. And this involved different planning, workout timing, meal prepping, etc. And I also am in a relationship where him and I support each other's goals very strongly, and maybe I have something to offer from that. But anyway, let's jump into today's episode. So, I am, like I just said, in a relationship with someone who lives a very similar lifestyle to me. But I know that might not be the case for everyone, and that's okay. Vinny, my boyfriend, and I have very similar goals. We eat very similar and we prioritize training the same way. So, what we have going on works very well for us. We even prioritize our uh, experiencing positive biofeedback. So, our sleep, our hydration, what we'd like to do on the weekends, we're on the same page. And that's something that I sought out in a partner. That's what I look for in my partner. And I created a relationship that I held my expectations very high for, and he did the same. And we figured out something that works really great for us. But at the end of the day, as similar as our goals might be, he is a man and I am a woman. Duh. And our bodies work very differently. So we each have expectations that the other can't commit to. The way I'm going to feel on a week by week basis is going to change. I'm going to have my high lows, my high weeks and my weeks based off of my cycle. Whereas opposed to him, he might have more consistent weeks. So first of all, he knows he's got to deal with my hormonal ass on a week by week basis, which he does incredibly. So there has to be some other kind of level of expectation from each of us, knowing that we are not each other's number one support. Yes, I'm his number one supporter, but me not going to the gym is not going to stop him, and vice versa. Ben also needs to spend a lot more time in the gym than I do. And he needs to eat a lot more than me to maintain his muscle and physique. Now, from a woman perspective, that's sometimes difficult for me, especially when in a fat loss cut because of our diet, or at least our portion sizes. They will look very different. His body may metabolize something a little bit differently than me, and I need to know my personal boundaries. I'm not going to stop him from going to have a piece of pizza because I can't digest it as well as him, or it's not going to fit into my macros for that day. Get what I'm saying? And for him, that poses a challenge because I don't want to stop him from spending all the time he needs to in the gym, or I don't want him to feel rushed when we go together and I'm done before him. Right now, we're at a point in our relationship where we have a really great balance going on, and we had to take the time to figure it out. It's not perfect, but it's getting stronger. And like I said, we can't be afraid to ask each other for support, which is something I personally am working on, is asking for more support. So if you are trying to reach a goal and your partner is not, it can be challenging, especially if you live together, or maybe you're just trying to survive as a woman who struggles with weight loss and your partner is a fat burning machine of a man and can eat anything he wants and that's no problem. That poses a challenge as well because your partner will be indulging on things that you want to enjoy and have fun and be a part of, but at the same time you want to reach a goal. So where is that balance? And I think it really all begins with a conversation. Like I said, he usually will be able to eat a lot more than you. And if you try to keep up with him, it might get you in a position where you don't feel comfortable in your body and you feel the need to make a change. Maybe that's like, when you first start dating someone, you go out, you have so much fun, you try new foods, you try new drinks, but then you maybe put on a little bit of weight or you feel a little bit more uncomfortable or your jeans are fitting tighter and you decide that you need to wind it in a little bit and then you feel left out because you don't know how to balance enjoying those meals, and then deep down it could lead to some kind of resentment, which we want to avoid. We don't want that I can't believe my partner can eat more than me resentment, or I'm jealous of, rather. Let's take it a step further. You want to go to your family's house to enjoy a nice Sunday dinner, but they're not prepping anything that is supporting your goals right now. So how do we find that balance? And it all starts with that simple conversation. Then let's take a little bit of a step further. You start implementing change, and maybe your partner doesn't want to eat the food you do to reach your goal, and then you're left cooking two dinners, which is defeating. Anyway, I'm here to tell you it doesn't have to be that way. Again, that's okay if you have different goals, but it's not fair for you to cook different meals for everyone in your family or skip the gym because you think you need to spend time with your partner instead. And from my experience, most of the limitations we create in our head are made up, and your partner doesn't even know what's going on in there. And a simple asking for help can go such a long way. Communication about your goals, expectations, and desires for support from your partner, your closest loved ones is crucial for reaching your goal, because at the end of the day, you are a team. And if you don't want help and you don't want to do it and you want to do it alone rather, that's okay. But it needs to be communicated so they know what's going on in your head, and that we don't, get too hangry one day and explode on someone, because, we've all been there. All right, let's jump into it a little bit more. I'm all about optimization and making everybody's lives easier. If there is something I can do for my boyfriend that will help him reach his goals, I will do it gladly. But here's the thing, there is nothing I can do for him that he cannot do on his own. My goal is to make his life easier. It's to elevate it. It's to bring a smile on his face as many times a day as I can. I want to help his life run smoother, and he returns the favor as well, because we are a team and we genuinely enjoy to lift each other up. I don't have to wake up early and make him breakfast in the morning. He's perfectly capable of doing it on his own, but I do, because it supports him and it helps him get his day started and it helps him feel good first thing from the day. And if I can have a part in that, I happily will. There's some days where I want to sleep in, or I have other things to do in the morning that I can't. And that's okay, because he's perfectly capable and he holds himself accountable. He doesn't need me to do it, and vice versa. So if you feel like there aren't enough hours in the day to get it all done, how can you ask for support? Do you need your partner to help you with breakfast in the morning or go grocery shopping at night when you're working late? Do you need just a little bit more listening? Do you need a push in the right direction? If you have a goal, it is not your job to make that goal your partner's as well. And I think that's one of the reasons a lot of people are held back from reaching their goal, is because they think they should be becoming healthier as a team. And I get how it can possess a lot of limitations if you're not. Um, but it has to be for you. And if your partner doesn't want to, you can absolutely invite them to join you, but you cannot get mad if they say no. Most importantly, you have to do what's best for you. You might be ready to make the change, and your loved one might not be. And this is where discipline comes in. Are you really going to let someone else's actions prevent you from reaching your goals? No, you're not. Even if you sleep in the same bed as them, and your partner will want to help you. They will want to help you change your life positively, because they know it's going to affect their life positively too as well. Even if you think your partner could stand to benefit from a diet change, like I said, if they're not ready, they're not ready. And pushing them too hard could create friction between the two of you, which we don't want. If you have kids to take into consideration, that's obviously a whole different story, and even more of a reason to have a conversation, because your healthy or unhealthy habits will rub off on them. But now the tricky part is when you want to eat healthy and your partner brings home a pizza to share. This is why a conversation is necessary. So this is what you're going to do. I want you to set up a time where you can speak with no distractions to your partner or whoever you need more support from. And I'm saying partner, you guys, just because this is your partner is going to be who you are closest with. If you're not in a relationship, that's okay. I'm sure you have a best friend. I'm sure you have a family. And if you're all on your own, it's just good to kind of think about like these conversations before getting into a relationship, to know the type of person you want to be in a relationship with. This is what I did. I made my non-negotiable list, and I found a partner who kind of checked off every single box, which is pretty cool. And that's called manifestation, my darlings. Anyway, back on track. I want you to set the expectation for the conversation before you guys sit down. You can say something as simple like, hey, babe, I have been struggling with X, Y, and Z and would really like to sit down and have a conversation about it because I need help. Nobody is ever going to shut that down. It's as simple as that. Before going into this conversation, I definitely recommend taking some time with yourself to figure out how you need help. If you just say, like, I need you to do more things for me, that's not fair. Saying things like, I'm trying to lose weight and you brought home a pizza again last night isn't fair. This isn't going to be a blame game conversation, because that won't help anyone. Think about your day to day. What needs to change for you to reach your goal? Is it ordering in dinner every day? Is it not cooking breakfast? And how does your partner fit into there? How does your family fit into there? How does the person you're asking for support fit into your day to day? If they don't, you probably don't need support from them. But if they do, since you are a team, you should consider how these changes will affect your partner, because that is the considerate thing to do. This is not a one-way street. You want to give and you want to get, right? If there's something they're doing that you know triggers you, don't be scared. Simply communicate it with compassion. Remember, they're not intentionally trying to upset you or hurt you. And if they are, you wouldn't be together, right? So, back to this pizza example, you could say something like, I understand that after a long day, it's easier for you to grab a pie and bring it home for dinner, but it makes me feel very tempted. And I'm not sure I have the willpower right now to hold myself accountable. I really want to try and make my meals at home. I would be more than happy to make meals for both of us for dinner. But in the meantime, if you do want pizza, do you think you could help me out a little bit and just bring home enough for you so there aren't leftovers that will tempt me? I think that was kind of a run on, but you guys get the point. I want you to set your own expectations for the conversation. I want you to jot down talking points so that you can strongly communicate what you need from your loved one. That simple. And it's okay to show up with a list, right? It's okay to have a note that you want to have a conversation about. You would do this with any other area in your life, right? That you guys have to make a decision on, and your life affects their life too. So bringing them in on this conversation shows how much they mean to you, right? Again, you're not going into this conversation to say things like, well, I can't reach my goals because you keep ice cream in the house. That's not fair. You have to have that discipline. You have to hold yourself to a level of accountability, but just communicate and say, you having ice cream in the house makes it overwhelms me. You offering me ice cream at night overwhelms me. I'm not asking you to take it out, but I'm just asking you not to offer it to me. And I know it might sound a little bit silly, but if that's going to help you, it might. But here's the thing, now you can't go and say later on that night, like, why didn't you offer me any ice cream? Because that's not fair either. Now, let's go over some ways you can ask for support while we're here in this conversation. Or maybe you don't want to have a whole other conversation, but here are some ways that you can get support that you might not even know existed. So, again, you are going to clearly communicate your goals and discuss the steps you need to take to get there. When I start working with someone, I always ask who your support system is. I want to know who's in your family, who's in your day to day, who's going to hype you up, and who's going to be there when you're down. Because how you speak to those people, how those people are in your life, are going to affect some things. And if you don't have a good support system and you feel like you need one, that's where hiring a coach comes into play. And I love being that person's support. But at the end of the day, you are your number one support. Then I want you to express what changes you need to make and how it may affect them. This is where you can communicate any dietary changes, such as changing the grocery list or what's for dinner, or communicate any schedule changes, such as going to the gym more, maybe going for a walk in the morning. Maybe even you want to abstain from alcohol for a little bit, for example, and that's okay. You do not need to do that with your partner. And if they're the right person for you, they will support whatever you are asking them to support. But I just want you to take the time and think about it and know what your goals are, know what needs to change. Next, I want you to express how they can support you. Is it changing what they say, changing the things they say? For example, a well meaning partner might say, you are perfect just the way you are. You don't need to lose any weight. Let's go grab ice cream tonight. And you know they mean well, but you also know that going for ice cream isn't going to support your goals right now. Don't be afraid to communicate that to your partner, that their behaviors are impacting you, of course, in a compassionate way. They may not even realize it, thinking that they are just expressing their love, or maybe you want them to check in on you to see how your journey is going more. You need them to watch the kids so you can go to the gym. You want to meal prep together, or you just want them to be open to trying your healthy food. Don't be afraid to ask for support. How you need it. And if they can't offer you that support in that way, continue to build on the conversation to a point where you guys can meet each other halfway, where they have a clear understanding of the changes you're trying to make, how you need help from them, and how they can offer help to you. Or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you want them to stop commenting on your body in certain ways, like saying you look perfect. Say, that's not helping me. And I really appreciate that you hold me to that standard. But right now, I need you to push me a little bit harder. Your partner is allowed to push you as well. They don't just need to give you all the good positive vibes all the time, which of course they should. They want to do that for you, but you guys get what I'm saying. You guys can even brainstorm new ways to spend time together. If you and your honey spend most of your time together going out to dinner and watching TV with snacks, that's not going to be conducive to reaching your goals. It's not maybe going to help and support the lifestyle you want to live. Maybe we're going to try and go for a bike ride more, go for walks after dinner, reading a book together, doing an art or home improvement project, or maybe you guys want to get a Ninja Creamy and create healthy protein ice cream recipes together. And you totally can. And if you don't, that's okay. You are just going to have to find ways to fill up your cup, your own time, and learn how to balance what you and your significant other like to do together, or whoever this loved one we're talking about is. And again, don't forget to communicate your boundaries, your new boundaries. Ask your partner or loved one's opinion. Ask them what they think about you reaching your goal. You can even ask them if there's any hesitations, because we want to have a nice, open, communicated conversation. You can talk about how it's going to affect both of you. And again, you don't need to skip the bar and only eat a salad to reach your goal. But in the beginning, if you want to limit yourself to some things, it's your right. I think a true test of your discipline will be how you can fit your new goal into your current lifestyle. Don't forget, it's a two-way street. I want you to offer the same conversation to your support team. Ask what their goals are, what their opinion is of your new boundaries, what their boundaries might be. How can you support them? Do they need encouragement, or do they need you to do anything a little bit differently to help them? Do they need you to make them breakfast? Get what I'm saying? However, the conversation goes, build up from there. Having this conversation does not mean that there's something wrong with you or your relationship. It means that you care deeply about your loved one, about your partner, about the person you're spending the most of your time with, and you want to see this relationship grow. You could even take it to the next level and have some fun with it. You guys can learn about each other's love languages. You can create new date night ideas together, or find a workout that you both want to try together. To help you out even more, in honor of Valentine's Day, I created a date night guide. I think you guys will really enjoy it. I linked it in the show notes. I give you, it really is focused around how to balance your blood sugar, but I give you some date ideas that you can incorporate into some fun date nights at home that you can maybe come when you're having this conversation with your partner or your friends or your loved ones. I know I keep saying that, repeating myself. Um, you can come with some new ideas and say, I really want to try this. Do you think you could try it with me? And nobody's going to say no to that, right? Again, I am no expert in this. And this is also from a woman's point of view, because that's me. I am a woman. Um, and I know our bodies work differently than men's. And I hope I covered enough points that you feel comfortable to go and ask for that support that you need. And if you don't want to ask for support, that's okay. But it's not fair to blame your failures or your lack of progress on your loved ones. I think a man's perspective is going to be a little bit different, because they need support in different ways, and they don't have a fluctuation going on throughout the month, more so hormonally. And some things like physique changes may come easier, may come more naturally to them, or it may not. Everything is individual and specific, and I think it all depends on the situation and who your partner is and what your goals are. But either way, my goal for this episode was just to encourage you to communicate openly and work together to support each other's health and wellness journey. Because if you don't have your health, you don't have anything. And maybe, again, if your partner isn't ready to make a healthy change, you discuss the benefits of so. You discuss your concern more so. And that's a great other kind of conversation to have. Or maybe you could even just blame it on me and say, hey, like Rachel posted about how this affects your blood sugar. I'm going to try and start doing this a bit differently. I think you could benefit from it too, as well. There are so many different ways that we can go through this conversation. I definitely would love to know your own personal experience. Let me know how you support your partner, how you get support from your partner. Shoot me a DM. Let's chat about it. I love talking about relationships. And again, if you just need some tips to approaching somebody to ask for support, let me know. I know everything is going to depend specifically and individually to you, but I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I know it was a little bit different, and I hope everybody has a beautiful, loving Valentine's Day, whether it looks like a date night, a Galentine's Day, or a cute, cozy self love night at home. Bye.